I'll make it very clear. My father told me flat out, if you make me choose between my God and you, I choose God. I'm not choosing you. You have to reject this, or we're going to take drastic action. And I didn't want to know what that drastic action was. My childhood was very tumultuous. My parents divorced when I was 2 years old. My father's side of the family, it's a fourth generation Jehovah's Witness family. So we're talking family members who are very deeply entrenched in the religion. No television, only religious books in the house. Children are to be seen and not heard. Religious meetings 3 days a week, Bible study in between that. And a very, very dreary and unstimulating existence. Corporal punishment was given for everything from direct disobedience to simply just being moody. I would be made to go and fetch whatever the instrument was, whether it was the goggle whip or the belt, and I had to lie down and, of course, take my licks. It was not considered sufficient licks unless you screamed and you cried, and you know, there had to be pain. So many times I would go to school with welts on my skin. It was not necessarily that I did not like men or males. I don't know if I admired them, but the feeling was just never, I never felt this lust. As a child, you notice it, but you yourself don't have any sexual attraction. When I had my first crush, this was in primary school, this was after common entrance in standard 5. And it would only come about when the girls around me started to get so enthusiastic about boys. Everything, all of a sudden, it was like a switch just flipped, and everything was about boys, 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 boys. And I found it tedious and boring, and, you know, what is the big deal? Well, I don't get it. Why are you all so obsessed? When I was probably around 12 years old at a slumber party at my cousin's place, there was this whole thing. Do you know there are women who have sex with women and love women, and you know what they're called? They're called lesbians. Y'all know about that? And everybody was like, oh, and in my mind, I was like, ding, 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 ding. All young people have to study the questions young people ask book, and masturbation is a sin and it is wrong. So I would be faced with a litany of questions. Are you touching yourself, and so on. This would escalate, of course, after the confession happened. So there was an elder assigned to my case, and some very intrusive questions would be asked. I don't know if this was supposed to be allowed, if he was getting his little underground kicks, asking me these things, asking a teenage girl, you know, are you masturbating? You know, have you been having, you know, immoral thoughts, and so on. I don't know if this was, you know, even allowed. When I was 15, there came a point where I did not believe in it anymore. I had kind of lost my faith, and I remember the day very, very well. It was a Saturday morning, and we were supposed to go out to field service. Field service is when Jehovah's Witnesses go out house to house distributing magazines and preaching to people, and I did not want to go. I said, I don't feel it is right for me to go, because how can I be preaching to people things that I don't believe? And I was beaten. This was a beating that was not a calm yourself down first and then do the Bible lecture, deliver the licks. This was an emotional beating. This was punching in the face, beating. You will obey, you will obey, you will obey, you will obey. you know, that type of beating. And that was when I fell into what I call a kind of black hole, where I realized, oh my God, I'm trapped. It was a combination of many things. One, I don't want to be a Jehovah's Witness, and I realize that you're going to force me to be whether I am or not. Two, I've realized for quite some time now that I like girls. Nothing's wrong with boys, nothing or thing, but I prefer, there's something I feel with girls that I don't feel with boys. I've spent some time, I've been praying over it, trying to ask to be changed and whatnot, and it has not worked. He made it clear, I'm going to destroy you if you think you think you can leave, you think you can. So the only way out for me was to take a bunch of pills. He had so much control over my life. I'm like, this is the one thing you have no control over, whether I live or die. None. I can decide that for myself, and I'm going to take control now, and I decide to die. I took a bunch of pills. I passed out. I woke up in the hospital. They sort of treated it as if it were a momentary lapse or phase I'm going through that is related somehow to possibly my parents' divorce. They found all kinds of things to blame it on. I made a decision that, you know, I have to live. I have to live, and I have to have my life and enjoy this. And I can't give my parents what they want. So at the opportunity where I can, I'm going to break out of here. Basically told one of my school friends, listen, I need to leave home tomorrow night, and I need you to be there for me. And she's like, yeah, sure, you come. I developed my exit plan. I waited for my parents to leave the house. I packed everything I could find, everything that was essential, into 2 garbage bags. I had, you know, someone to pick me up, take me to my friend, and that was it. That was it. That was my exit. At 19, going on 20. I think parents who genuinely, unconditionally love their children, this is an easy choice for them. I choose my child. I just need support. I cannot force my child to believe in my religion. Because honestly, there came a point where that is what it boiled down to, essentially. It was about forcing your religion on your child. Why are you doing it? Because it's your child. You wouldn't do it to a co-worker. You can't force your co-worker to be a part of your church and to join your church, and then if they don't want to, seek ways to punish them and whatnot. You would not do that. Why are you doing it to your child? I want my child to be happy. I want my child to be healthy. I want to support them. And no, I don't care what the people in my church say. I don't care what my pastor says. I don't care what my pundit, imam, says. I love my child. I don't want my child to suffer. I don't want my child, and I moreover than this, I respect my child's human right and free will to decide for themselves.